pull this so I can go downstairs.
Hi, good morning. Or good afternoon. I'm sorry, it's been quite a day. It still feels like it's been morning. But good afternoon, and thank you, Pastor. I feel like almost still electrified following what you just said, so thank you for that. But this recognition is, I don't want to say even for me, but happy Women's History Month first and foremost. Happy month to those that have made things possible for so many. So we talk about great things about women's history and what women have done, but we know, each and every one of us, from birth to growth to now and adults, that not even just those trailblazers that we read in our textbooks, that we hear about every month, but the people in our community. That's why I always want to bring it back to, because when we speak of being a village, raising your family with the village that is your community, there's always women at the pillars. There's always women that are the bedrock, that are those that literally create the network of how our communities can function and work together, because we know you that is the one that, oh my God, I don't even have examples, but it really is amazing to have been able to work with the many women in the Bronx, in the north, south, east, and west, because we know that things can be better. We know that things should be better. And as your state senator and as your partner in this fight, in this struggle, that's what I do. And that's what I take pride in, going to the powers that be and the halls that be to advocate to what's really happening in our neighborhoods. And who is telling me that? But it is the women. Yes, it's men and the children and everybody, but it's always the women that really have seen it, that really have taken that fight, that struggle, and have shown what is possible to do with what we have, but what we can do if we get more. So I really do thank you, because me being in this position, I am so grateful for this honor, and it's so extremely humbling, but I would not be here without those women that saw me, that told me, good job, you're doing something. I see you when you come to these events. I see you in what you do. And because of you, that's why, and I have to even include Aisha, because she was one of those great friends and people that saw me, encouraged me, and made me take these extra steps. But I do that now. When I see a young lady, when I see a young woman, even an older woman, I compliment you. I thank you for saying for what you said. I thank you for being here today too, to join in this moment of whatever experience we're having. And I keep thanking those before me, those after me, those that are in front of me and behind me and next to me, for being in this journey together in protecting, loving, and taking care of our community, whether it's right here on Morse Avenue, or in Pelham Parkway, or in Bronx Neck, or in Soundview, or wherever in New York City. So thank you so much for those that inspired me to be in this place in front of you today. And thank you so much for being here today. And please take this encouragement and pass that message to someone around you, a little girl, because it is Women's History Month, and let them be inspired to keep making the moves to improve our communities. Thank you.
We're getting towards the end. I do like what she said about complimenting, because I always tend to err on the side of complimenting a young lady. When I see her hair done, her clothing, whatever that might be, I take the time out to compliment. Especially in the city of New York, people don't expect you to compliment them. They're like, oh, wait, you complimented me? Yes, girl, you said this. The next person is Claire Francis. She's a development manager at American Cancer Society. She's a patient.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Okay, let's try this again. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
There we go. First, I want to give honor to the spiritual leaders of this house. Thank you for allowing us to be here. Thank you for allowing me to be here. And before that, I give honor to God. He is the reason that we are living and I am living. I give honor to Dr. Phil Jordan. I had the pleasure of meeting him at the Bronx Powerless event, and he contacted me and said, I want to honor you on this event. And I called him back and he said, first of all, why me? Because I had the pleasure of working with American Cancer Society just in April of last year. So only serving that role in that short span of time, I'm not expecting anyone to really recognize what I've done in such a short span of time. Before that, I've been working in the medical field for over 20-something years. Started as a CNA, ended up being a physical therapist assistant, and then transferred over to the American Cancer Society. A lot of you probably wonder, why such a shift? I come from a family that unfortunately has passed away, majority from cancer and heart disease, and built on the ground of church, having a relationship with God. One thing my grandparents and my parents have instilled in me is having a relationship with God. It's not a religion, it's a relationship with your Father, acknowledging your Creator, understanding that there is the true spirit of servanthood. And that's one thing that my grandparents instilled in all of their grandchildren, is the spirit of servanthood. That's the true honor and the purpose of why we are here and that God has called us. And everyone that is represented here, just know, even though there are several honorees here, and I give honor to those who are being honored, that you have been called to build a legacy. Not a legacy just in the Bronx community, but a legacy within your own family.
Right.
Because you're going to shift things around by your own family, as well as the families that are being affected by the lives that you touch. So being a servant is honorable for me. It's the ground that my ancestors have been built on. I was raised in the Bronx, but I wasn't born in the Bronx. So coming from a small island of Montserrat and then coming here to the Bronx here, it has taught me a lot that serving is the most important purpose you can have, because you don't live for yourself alone. You live for the purpose. Because all of you have just spoken about the same thing, that you have acknowledged to other people that they have purpose in life. And being part of the American Cancer Society, that's also a groundwork of acknowledging those that are going through cancer, that you still have a purpose in life. And that's what the American Cancer Society is also about. I oversee the Making Strides Against Breast Cancer of the Bronx. And we have a walk every year in October. This year is October 22nd at Bay Plaza Shopping Center. And my due diligence in being a development manager at American Cancer Society is to, the one thing I wish my ancestors, my grandparents, my lineage would do is do early screening. I think someone had mentioned it earlier that we have to take care of ourselves. If you don't take care of you, how are you going to take care of the lives that God has placed in your hands? So you have to do your due diligence in getting those early screening. So I stand as a representative of the American Cancer Society. I stand as a representative of my family in the journey that we have undertaken, that you got to take care of you in order to be a servant and fulfilling your servanthood. I would like to also acknowledge my mentor, my boss, Rosemary Perez-Bell, who's here. And today, and together, we decided to be a wrecking force in fighting this fight against breast cancer in such a short time. Sorry, I'm talking too fast now. In such a short time, she has taught me so much, and I realize all that she has taught me is all that everyone has taught her. Again, that whole thing of servanthood. Someone has taught you, you transfer the same thing to someone else to make them see that you have a purpose in